Hello, it's Nikki. Today's biggest lesson, number 4, has all been about controlling my state, which has sometimes been easy to do, and sometimes it's been really challenging. And I felt that lots of what's been going on in the world this year, maybe more so than last year, has felt quite heavy. And as my mum always says, like, it feels like we know more now. So I remember at the beginning of 2020, there was almost this wartime camaraderie of banana breads. And even though it was absolutely horrific, there was a sense of spirit to it. And I think 2021 has been much more of a digesting of and a processing of, like, wow, what is happening? What is happening in our world? And that can catch you and knock you and bring you down sometimes. And this has been a really interesting one for me because I've seen a pattern in my own life that I have a real sense of resilience sometimes. I have a sense of, and this works in a really positive and a negative way, but I have a sense that I can get the job done. I don't know if it was because I was a dancer when I was a kid, but sometimes you'd be like so tired and your teacher would literally go, "We're going again, 6, 7, 8," and you'd have to find it. You'd have to find the energy from somewhere. And unless you were injured, you did. And I've seen that throughout theatre or television or things like that. When you're on night shoots, there isn't really room for saying, "Do you know what? I just feel a bit tired now." You've got a crew of people there, so you've got to find that. And I've noticed over time that I've really been able to cultivate that, almost to the point where it's not helpful or healthy. And so what I want to say today is around morning and evening routines and really monitoring your environment and your surroundings and where you can, of course. And this year, as I can definitely see from my eye bag, so I'm not going to be doing it over Christmas, I've really, really tried to get myself in a excellent morning routine. Now, this is not a methodical, like, I do 2 pages of journaling, and then I do tapping, and then I do some sun salutations. It's nothing technical like that. And sometimes my morning routine is creeping out of bed and going onto the sofa and reading my book for half an hour, or listening to an audio or a podcast. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll have some kind of inspiration and I'll want to write it down. But some people might think, wow, you get up at 5? That's really early. But there's something about that I've noticed this year is I've really needed that time, that quiet time where I haven't had children needing things or wanting things. And I've almost had that period of time to settle into the day and to really check in and go, okay. And I've seen, again, that pattern of behavior. Whenever I do a performance or if I do a speaking gig, I don't like a lot of fuss. Not because I'm a diva, but when people kind of go, "Oh my God, we're doing the show," and everybody gets a bit heightened and frantic. Actually, I'm always that person who, not that I disappear because that's really annoying for a stage manager, but I try and find a quiet spot, and I'll be that person like lying on the floor and just taking some deep breaths, or just sitting quietly going over my script. Or I don't perform well when I have that kind of whip up of, "Whoa, off we go." So having that in the beginning of the day has been really, really useful. Likewise, at the end of the day as well, I've started to make really clear cutoffs when I'm no longer available, or I haven't put work in the evenings. I've only done it a couple of times. If I can, and this is not always possible, but if I can finish at 3 o'clock just before I have to go and pick up my son, I will really try and do that. And I think that's the thing with your business or your brand, is that There's always something you can do. Or if even in your house, you're like, oh gosh, I could clean up that drawer, I could organize this, or I could get ahead of myself. And what I've really learned to do this year is in the evenings, just really protect my time. And I'm not very good at this, but put down my phone. I've really started to read more books and magazines and do meditations. That's been really helping. I've also been playing around with EFT, which I'm really enjoying. It was something for a long time I couldn't quite connect with, or I just went into my head too much, analyzing like, how is this going to work? I don't understand why I'm tapping and what am I doing? But I found a really good teacher, and that's been amazing. Again, I've really found the power in exercise and eating well and tracking my cycle. Oh my goodness, that has been really, really key. Because I'm also taking responsibility in the things that I can do to make myself feel really strong. And that's not saying like I'm the strongest woman in North London, but I know what helps me guide me to the best version of myself as well. I've also tried to not overcommit, and that's been really helpful. And as I've mentioned, I think it was in session 2 about giving myself more time. So there've certainly been times where I've been like, yeah, of course, like I'll get that done for you tomorrow. That's absolutely fine. I'll just work tonight on it and then I'll be ahead of the game. And then there's been times this year where I've thought, give yourself 3 days. Tell them that it will be available in 3 days' time, because that will give you that wiggle room if you need it. If you have a child at home, if you need some extra rest, give yourself that wiggle room, because you'll know that you're going to get a better result that way as well. So I want to think about, or you to think about, what's been working for you. Now, self-care is often spoken about in this, I just go to spas and I wander around in a dressing gown, and I cannot wait to do that in the new year. Matt got me 2 tickets to this amazing, what is it called? It's like a pool place. It's called Air Pool or something. And it's in East London or in the city. And it's loads of different kinds of pools. I also got a lovely massage at Cowshed, which I'm really looking forward to. And I absolutely want to do those things. But they're definitely going to be kind of treats in my calendar. So I'm looking at what am I doing each and every day to try and make myself feel good. And sometimes that has been getting the kids home from school, and I try and certainly as the virus has been going on, I put them in the bath straight away and put their jimmies on and get them all fresh and clean and washed. And often I started to do that as well, like get ready for bed, especially if Matt's been away as well. And after I put them to bed in the evening, have that kind of downtime as well. And that has meant also I've had to be really discerning about working smartly and being very aware about what my actions are and where am I putting out information. How are the things that I'm doing, how are they actually paying off, or am I just getting involved in busy work as well? So there are some things to think about: your morning routine, your evening routine, and just thinking back, like what really works for you. How can you get to a point of feeling good, or what are the things that immediately bring yourself back to you? And sometimes on those days, when I should have been working, actually sometimes going and makes me sound really sad, but sometimes if I'm not getting inspired or if it's just not gelling, I'll do like 20 minutes of ironing, because there's something about ironing that's a really good meditation for me, where I might watch something on the TV and I get loads of ideas and I find it quite relaxing. I know some people absolutely hate ironing, and again, I get that as well. But that's been really fascinating as well, of breaking the process and asking myself, what do I need in that moment? If you want to find out more, do come over to my website. You can book a free 15-minute session with me, or you can check out my goal setting course or join your personal brand plan. There's loads of different options there. And I'm really interested in bringing who you are in the world into your business as well. So if you are somebody that just wants to work in the mornings and work up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, great. How can you make those hours work for you? And that's what it's about, isn't it? Business and life, and the two working alongside each other. All right, I'm sending lots and lots of love, and I'll see you in the final part tomorrow. Okie doke. Bye.